What is going on, everyone? So today I wanted to recap one of my favorite Marvel movies growing up, which is the X-Men. This movie just hit its 20th anniversary on June 14th. I remember seeing this movie in a little cubicle theater, and I was about 6 years old. And I would say the most memorable scene was probably watching Sabretooth and Wolverine fight on the Statue of Liberty, and seeing that in the trailer for the first time. I was pretty pumped as a 6-year-old. One of the many reasons why I like X-Men is because it focuses on a group of people, you know. It's kind of like the Avengers of back then, you know. Even the cartoon series was very complicated because they're jumping timelines from back and forth, you know, from the past, the present, the future, you know. It's all over the place. And I remember just taking notes watching this series as a kid, and I thought it was just too mature for me, but I just loved seeing the characters, you know. And that's why you have to give Bryan Singer, the director, some credit here, because it takes a lot of courage to make a X-Men film, because these X-Men films are kind of hard to tell a story, I think, in my opinion. And what I mean when I say mutant, I mean they are genetically altered, super advanced human beings, you know. They have these abilities, they have these superpowers. And so the whole conflict of the story is that the humans have a lot of hate, prejudice, and discrimination towards the mutants, and that's why the humans fear them. So now we get into the story. Wolverine meets Rogue, and then Rogue and Wolverine meet the X-Men, and then we finally see the X-Men come together, which is led by Professor X / Charles Xavier. He is sort of like the mentor and the teacher that helps these mutants channel their mutant abilities and use it for the good of mankind, you know. Unlike Magneto, he is the opposite. He believes that mutants and humans should never coexist together, that the mutants should be dominant and they should rule and be in control, not the humans. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of conflict going on between the humans and even the mutants, you know, even their own kind. So the first half of the movie is very political, and then the second half, now we finally see the X-Men in action, you know. The X-Men are planning to stop Magneto because Magneto is trying to mutate these world leaders, and he's using Rogue's powers to wipe out all the human race. So finally we see the X-Men, you know, enter into this like museum in the where the Statue of Liberty is. We see Wolverine versus Mystique, the shapeshifter, and then Toad versus Cyclops and Storm. And we see all these cool little fight scenes. I would say my favorite line from this whole movie is when Cyclops doesn't recognize Wolverine when he's coming inside the door, and Wolverine goes, hey, it's me. Cyclops just goes, prove it. You're a dick. Okay. Favorite line. But I would say the most memorable scene was watching Sabretooth fight Wolverine on the Statue of Liberty, and he's charging and he's slashing and stabbing Sabretooth and stuff. I remember seeing that in the trailer, and he was kind of like twirling around the crown of the Statue of Liberty, and then he like poses, and then he charges into the camera. But yeah, it was moments like that did it for me, and I became such an X-Men fan. And I would say my favorite superhero is Wolverine, you know, because every time you see him on screen, he's a badass, you know. And he has the coolest powers, I think, in my opinion. You know, he has regenerative healing powers, you know. He never ages. He has the adamantium skeleton. He has the claws, you know. Such an interesting character, you know. He's always been like the Batman of the X-Men because he's so brooding and he has a dark past, and just something interesting about Wolverine that has always kept me intrigued out of all the characters, I would say. And then, yeah, so they save Rogue and they save the world, and it kind of leaves you off with a cliffhanger and the mutants uniting in the next one. So I'll catch you guys next time, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. Peace.